What is up there, YouTube? It's your boy Mossman Man Vapes coming back at you again. Now, I'm going to do something a little differently, probably for a little while. I'm going to be doing a review series on pre-made wires and pre-made coils. I've had a lot of people at shops and also on Facebook and my Instagram about pre-built coils. Are they any good? Well, I figured the best way to do it is to make reviews on them. So in this series, basically what I'll be doing is I'm going to be reviewing spools of pre-made wire and also wires that have been already coiled up. Now, excuse me, Grim Green came out there a little bit. Shout out to Truck and Vapes. So, are they any good? Well, it varies. It can vary from your taste to what you want, to resistances you want. There's multiple companies out there that make pre-made wires and spools and pre-made wire that's already been coiled up in a certain configuration. So I decided to order a variety of coils throughout the next few weeks and to see which one I think, to see how they are individually. I'm not going to be comparing them together and seeing which ones are the best because, like all vaping is, from mods to juices to wires to cotton, everything is subjective and it's based on what you, the consumer, like. So, with that being said, the first thing I'm going to be reviewing in this episode, and we all may know this company, Wotofo. That's right, folks. Wotofo has came out with pre-made wire. I don't know if these have been out for a while or they just came out with it. My local shop had it, and this is what inspired my idea. So, let's go over this, shall we? Wotofo has come out with 4 or 5, I will check again, of Clapton wire, ranging from your traditional fused Clapton wire to your triple core Clapton wire. These are quad core fused Clapton wire. I don't know if you can read that. There we go. So yeah, quad core fused Clapton wire, 4 strands of 28 gauge fused Clapton with 36 gauge, and this is all an 80. Now, unfortunately, as far as I know, the quad core fused Clapton wire does not come in a Canthal version. Excuse me. There's a fly in here driving me bonkers. But anyway, now the review is, let me sidetrack here. As far as I know, the quad core fused Clapton does not come in a Canthal configuration. Now that might be a heartbreaker to some of y'all because I do know there's people out there that cannot vape nichrome. And for anybody who does not know what nichrome is, it is nickel chromium. Now, we all know about pure Ni200 nickel wire. You do not vape that in wattage mode. You vape that in temperature control. Because if that wire gets too hot, the Ni200, it becomes very toxic. But nichrome, on the other hand, is very, very safe to vape in wattage mode. Me personally, I love vaping nichrome, so I'm glad this came in a nichrome configuration, but again, it could be a heartburn to somebody who can only vape Canthal. Right now, I have taken some of that quad core Clapton wire, and I have made myself a couple of nice sized coils. These are 5 wraps on a 3mm ID, and they clocked in at 0.13 ohms, and I have it set to 136 watts. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. 136 watts. Very, very semi-warm vape. I would say more of a right in the middle between cool and warm. I do have it in the Twisted Messes 24 Pro Series RDA, and I figured to do this video raw just so you guys can understand that I am a human being. We all do fuck ups. Trucking taught me that trick, so I'm gonna keep this video raw. But it's very, very easy to work with. Matter of fact, let me just grab one of my screwdrivers here. I use these Stanley brand yellow screwdrivers. Nice little screwdrivers. You can get these at Walmart or Lowe's, and they usually run about $5, maybe even less actually. So let's pull out some of this fused Clapton wire, shall we? So I can show you how relatively easy it is to coil up. So as the spool, this is also 25 feet of wire, guys. So quite a bit of wire. But the spool itself has this spool tamer, which holds everything in place. Now, if anybody knows my Clapton tutorial video, I used spool tamers. So this is very, very neat as far as keeping the wire neat. You ain't got to bend it in a groove to keep it in place, because we all know that has a tendency to kink up. So let's snip off some wire here, and I'm going to basically wrap 2 coils in front of you just so you can see just how easy it is to actually get these wrapped. So I got a 3mm screwdriver. I got about a good 4, maybe even 4 or 5 inch piece of the wire, and let's start wrapping it. So as you can see, it is very, very malleable. Slowly turning it though to make sure I get those wraps as close together as possible, just like you would do with any traditional Clapton wire. And just be very careful. There's 4 wraps. And there's 5 wraps. And as you can see, just doing that little tug like that, and these did not spring back whatsoever. So there we have it. A nice 5 wrap of quad core fused Clapton 28 nichrome with 36 nichrome. So let's try this again to show you. And another trick, screwdriver and the wire, like so. There's 1 wrap. There's 2 wraps. It is very hard to do this in front of a camera. I apologize. There's 3 wraps. There's 4 wraps. And then there's 5 wraps. Give that a little tug. And boom. There you have it, folks. Now, if you can't get them real tight, it's not the end of the world. Like always, you do have to put these in an RDA and dry burn to get them right. So you can always mold it and get those wraps nice and tight together. And when you get, you all know the dry burning process of how to building. Even a beginner should know. So basically, is a real quick short lesson for anybody who does not know how to insert coils. You basically insert them to where they are evenly spaced between the posts. Make sure you leave enough room for your cotton, and I'll do a video on how to insert coils. That'll probably be the next video, so please hang tight, folks. But you insert them just like you would. Get them burning from the inside out. The 5 wraps came out to a 0.13. I do have it on my old Pioneer for You IPv3 Li. This is old school tech, guys. I bought this back in 2015. So if that tells you how old this mod really is, but it still works and it vapes great for this build. 0.13, 136 watts. As you can see, she has a very nice ramp up time, and that's pushing out 4.2 volts. Definitely very quick ramp up time, and that's also because of it being nichrome. Very, very cloudy. The flavor is very, very good off this wire. And I am vaping a juice I actually do know very well. I do know a lot of people that watch me saw that I make my own juices, but I decided to do a juice from a company that I've bought a bunch of juice from before. Fresh squeezed, super good. I do know this flavor quite well. I actually bought a bunch of this throughout the time that they've been around, and So I know the flavor down to a T. And the flavor from this juice that comes off these coils is exactly what the flavor profile says. Raspberry watermelon candy. And that's exactly what I'm getting off of this build. It is, by God, delicious. Let me give another drip here. Now, just like with any other fused Clapton, though, even being a quad core, it drinks the juice. I mean, it just guzzles it. So let me get back up here so you guys can see some of the vapor production. Very nice, dense, thick clouds coming off this thing. Wotofo and shops that are selling this, I've seen run between anywhere from 18 to 22 bucks. For 25 feet of quad core fused Clapton wire, I think that's actually a pretty good price. I do not have a link, unfortunately, but just look up Wotofo pre-made Clapton wire and just look for the 5-pointed star rounded out shaped spool, and you'll find exactly. Trust me, they're not hard to find. But yeah, actually very, very good. I'm going to be reviewing the other versions of this pre-made fused Clapton wire. Also going to be doing other companies like Medusa and so on and so forth. So that is it for this video, guys. I decided to keep it raw this time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please go out and find yourself some of this fused Clapton wire. And if you're allergic to nickel, do not get it. But if you can vape nichrome and you love nichrome, you're going to love that. In my opinion, that's actually a very, very good wire. Easy to wrap, easy to install, easy to get going, and just a phenomenal vape. So that's all for this video, guys. See you all in the next one. Monster Man Vapes, signing off.